Yes! Alrighty. What's up, everybody? It is I, your travel god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a Tuesday night, because it is dark now. It is now Tuesday night, October the 7th, 2025, and it's Tuesday night. You know what that means. Tonight is the night where AEW Dynamite dies. Pretty much. We got NXT TNA Showdown and AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday back to back at the same time at 8 p.m. on the CW11 or TBS. So we got that tonight. Should be, well, a slaughter for NXT TNA, and I'll see what happens with that. It's going to be a big show. Not so much for AEW, but we'll talk about AEW tomorrow, because we're going to do the NXT TNA Showdown review as soon as Dynamite ends. So I'm not going to do it as soon as the Showdown ends, but we're going to wait till, I'll probably I'm not going to watch Dynamite at all, because I'm going to watch it later. But I will catch the final 30 minutes of Dynamite, then rewatch it, and then after that I will do I'll do the NXT Showdown review, and then tomorrow we'll talk about Dynamite in the early afternoon, because I do have the day off tomorrow. So, because I have some errands to run, I have a doctor appointment, and then I have to get my flu shot. So got a lot of shit to do tomorrow. And you're not doing nothing, so fuck you. So we got that. So there should be some good stuff tonight. Also, the American League Division Series Game 3 tonight. There was a little bit of a delay in Detroit, because it's raining in Detroit. So the game is about to start at 7 p.m. The Game 3 between the Tigers and the Mariners tied at 1 apiece. And at 8 o'clock... going head-to-head, pretty much head-to-head, we got Dynamite going head-to-head with NXT and TNA Showdown, and Los Yankees de Nueva York, the Yankees looking to avoid elimination in that construction site in the Bronx with those Blue Jays from Toronto. Blue Jays up 2-0, Game 3 tonight. See what happens with that. Is the Bronx going to be clean tomorrow morning, or do the Yankees fight another day? We'll have to see what happens later tonight. And that's it. Also, hockey begins tonight. Opening night of the 2025-26 season. The Rangers and the Penguins at the Garden. I was supposed to go, but I had to sit out this one. But I am going to the next home game. I think it's this weekend, so we'll see what happens with that. So, sorry not going to opening night. I've gone to the last 5 opening nights. Just this one, yeah. This one I'm not, because, I have to sit this one out. So, not because I'm sick or anything. It's just that, things come up. And, I had an emergency earlier in the day, and I have to pretty much stay home. So, not with Rosa, but with somebody else. But everything is okay. But by the time I was like, I was actually gonna be going out, it was like an hour ago. I should have been out like 2 hours ago, but I had to run out, and then I came back, and then I was a wreck when I came home. So no rain game for me tonight, but I will be watching it in between the wrestling and baseball. So I have the Rangers app, so I don't have to worry about it. So, or just watch it on the NHL Network. I don't care. But we got that. So we got lots of good stuff on your Taco Tuesday, or your Two for Tuesday, whatever you want to do it. But hopefully everybody had a great Tuesday. Another warm day right here in Brooklyn, New York. Gonna be raining later on tonight into most of tomorrow. Supposed to get like an inch of rain tomorrow, so sucks that I gotta go out in the afternoon, but should be fine. Not gonna last that long, so it is what it is. Maybe getting a nor'easter here on we shouldn't be talking about no Easters now in October, because you get those ones in December, January, February, maybe March, talking about a lot of snow, but it's fall, so you get a nor'easter. It's mostly heavy rain and wind, so might be getting a couple of days of rain this weekend. Not fun, but because you got plans this weekend, you might want to bring them inside. Or if you're going out, bring a raincoat and an umbrella and some galoshes and shit like that. That too. But it was a good day. Minus the stuff I had to deal with early in the day. But right now I'm having a pretty good day, getting ready for some wrestling. Hopefully the Yankees lose, and then we'll see what happens by the end of the night. Oh, that's that. Alright, speaking of wrestling, let's talk about some wrestling. And let's talk about last night, and it's time for your late and out of date. Right here on the Killer Demons channel. I forgot to do my intro, but thank you all for watching right here on the main channel, Killer Demons 669. I'm Peter Joseph. I'm a content creator talking about the wonderful world of professional wrestling. And anything else I feel like talking about it. If you like it, great. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you want more. Hit the bell. And all that other good stuff. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share the video all over the internet. If you're new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. Grab yourself a nice, big, fat, cold one. Sit back, put your feet up, relax, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You don't, go fuck yourself. And if you want, leave a comment, but don't leave stupid comments because you'll get blocked. Sent to the Shadow Realm where Satan and Ozzy will eat your soul. And that's that. Alright, we're about an hour away from TNA NXT Showdown. But before we get to that, let's talk about Monday Night Raw from last night. Now, Monday Night Raw was pretty mid. Not so great, not so good out last night, as it's the official go-home show before the Saturday mornings, morning because we're in Australia, at 8 a.m. So, tea and crumpets with the Queen of Australia. So fire up your VPNs, fire up your whatever to watch Crown Jewel or Crown Fool at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you're on the West Coast, get up at 5. Then you can go back to bed. But, yeah. Yeah, most of us in the Northeast are going to wake up around 7:30. And then grab ourselves some McDonald's or grab some, make some eggs, make some bacon, whatever you want to make for early breakfast. And then probably I would say by 10:30, 11, go take a nice power nap until the early afternoon. Then do your Saturday festivities. That's what I'm gonna do. After the pay-per-view, gonna take a nap, then get up, do the review, and then do my Saturday festivities with the missus. And then Sunday we got football week 6 in the NFL in the league where they play for pay. If you're a Giant fan, you wish Thursday would never come around, but they're going to be at home at really Jet Life Stadium to face the Eagles, coming off a shocking loss to the Broncos. And they're looking to do some damage against the 1-4 Giants, who are going to lose that game, hopefully, but we'll see. And then the Jets play at 9:30 in the morning on Sunday because they're in London against those Broncos. So, see what happens with that. Jets are looking for their first win. They're 0-5 right now. Oy. They go 0-6. You can say goodbye to the season. They're done. Pretty much they're done as of right now, but you never know. They can be the first team to come back and make the playoffs, but I don't see it happening. But we got that. And the 49ers! San Francisco! In Tampa Bay, or as Issa would say, Tampa Bay against the Buccaneers should be a pretty interesting game. Hopefully the CBS broadcast the game at 4:25. So we can all watch it. And then Sunday night, we got Bound for Glory from TNA. And that's going to be a pretty damn good show. So lots of good stuff this week with hockey in between, baseball. Lots of good stuff. So it's gonna be a great week and a great Columbus Day weekend. As this Monday, if you're Italian, it's your day. Christopher Colombo. It's Columbus Day. The Columbus Day Parade will be happening. So, most of you have off of work, but some people do gotta go to the doctor, like I do. Yeah. Yeah, my therapist is open on Monday. Go figure that one out. But they're not, they don't observe, well, they really don't observe Columbus Day because the office is Jewish. But, not Jewish! Funny. She doesn't look Jewish. A Jewish princess. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, I gotta go to my therapist on early Monday, and then pretty much I'm done for the day. Then I get to watch. I get to watch Monday Night Raw because it's at 8 a.m. and then take a little break, and then get ready to go to my therapist session, and then by the time I come home, go back to sleep. Because I got nothing to do, because I'm off on the holiday anyway. I got a 4-day weekend, baby! Well, I gotta work Friday, but I'm off Saturday. I got a 3-day weekend, so. It is what it is. Let me move on. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Monday Night Raw, and Monday Night Raw was kind of, like I said, mid. It was emanating from the American Airlines Center in Big D. No, not Big Dick, but that's what I got. Ask your mom and girlfriend that one. It's in Dallas, Texas, because as we all know, just about everything is bigger in Texas, except for people's dicks. But that's another story for another time. The only thing bigger in Texas is the Dallas Cowboys killers' titties. Oh. But I digress on that. Alright, and as always, our commentary team on Monday Night Raw is Joe Tessitore, and my good buddy, he plays a mean electric twanger. That's guitar for you people at home. If you don't know what twanger means, please look it up. And that's Bad News Wade Barrett. And Joe, I'm afraid I got some bad news for you. Alright. Wade Barrett, Stu Bennett, whatever you want to call him, got some bad news for Joe because he's sitting next to him. Alright, this is the official go-home show before Crown Jewel this Saturday morning. We got Seth freaking Rollins in the building along with The Vision, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, B&B Security, and the Oracle, the fat man himself. My name is Paul Heyman. We'll get to him in a second. We also got Phil Brooks, otherwise known as CM Punk. We got that. We got Daban, Becky Lynch taking on Maxine Dupree. I believe it was a non-title match. And we got a whole bunch of all this shit. And we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so we start off this great show with an opening recap from last week, the end of last week's show, where our tribal chief put up your fucking ones and acknowledge him, and acknowledge me, and acknowledge the prophecy. Put up your fucking ones, and not this one. I'm talking about this one. Acknowledge your tribal chief. We saw him come back and do what he did, helping Jimmy and Jay beat B&B Security last week. So he's back, and we start the show off, how fitting, with our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And Big D comes out, that's what he does, Dallas, Texas. Acknowledge me. So we acknowledge Roman, as always. With that out of the way, then, after we acknowledge Roman, the big fat man, well, two fat men, the Oracle, Paul Heyman, and Big Bronson Reed come out to interrupt, because they're fat! Right, Scott Steiner? He's fat! I know, but calm down. No, I don't care. I'll make him bleed. Okay, calm down. Scott, calm down. Please, eat your Snickers, please. Can somebody get this guy a Snickers? You good? good, Scott? Good, okay. Good. He's fat! Damn it, Scott! Go in the corner. Get out of here. He is fat. Fat asses. Okay, moving on. Alright, so they come out, interrupt, they stare at each other. Roman asks, you have something to say, fat man? Wise man? Fat man? Whatever you want to. So Paul Heyman doesn't know who he's been wise man in Reigns since he broke Heyman's heart, and tells the fans to acknowledge the tribal thief. Yeah, because he stole the sneakers. The sneaker fella. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so Paul says that I know that Bronson is the one man that you fear, Roman, as he's the only person that ever caused you to leave on a stretcher. Not in WWE, not in college football, not in the drunken Samoan barbecues where a battle royal broke out. I gotta go to Samoa, man. They party. I gotta look up how much a trip to Samoa is. Yeah, maybe I was gonna say, I would meet Alpha and Sika, but sadly they passed away. But, me move on. Anyway, so Bronson Reed talks about how Alpha and Sika were never stretchered out. Uh-oh. So how would they feel to see it happen to Roman at his hands? Roman says, Bronson, you don't know Alpha and Sika, so shut up, because Paul did. And then Roman's like, well, what would I think that Sika would say? Well, and Alpha would say, they would say, fight him now. So Roman's like, bring your goddamn fat ass to my ring right now. But Heyman's like, no. Roman, you know what I'm saying about waiting, but the reality is Roman is levels ahead of Bronson. Well, this is Roman talking, of course. He's like, pick the time, pick the stipulation, because I will be there to show you why I am the tribal chief. And you must acknowledge me, goddammit. So then Heyman says, well, it's going to be an Australian street fight. I don't know how those people in Australia fight. Probably not creepy, but, because they have a dynasty, not dynasty, dynasty. Gonna fight like kangaroos, Kangaroo, tiny kangaroo down, sport. Tiny kangaroo down, here comes Outback Jack. Okay, we got that. Remember Outback Jack? Some of you do, some of you don't. Oh, that's right. Half you people are fucking millennials because you don't remember anything back from 1984. Back in my day, wrestling was cool. Because old school is cool. Not new school. New school is shit. I digress on that one, but anyway, moving on. Alright, so it's going to be an Australian street fight between Roman and Bronson Reed. They go to leave, and Roman's like, hey, where you guys going? You walk in here, you act like a bunch of tough guys, but then now you're walking out like a couple of bitches. Ooh! Right in the nuts, yeah! Tell him, Roman. Tell my tribal chief. So, Bronson's like, oh, you calling me a bitch? Alright. Boom, 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 boom. The big monkey's coming out. Like freaking Donkey Kong's coming out. Anyway, that's gonna get clipped. I don't give a shit. So they have a big old brawl. Bronson sends Roman to the outside. Then Roman sends the big man over the barricade, and then security and agents come out. Jason Jordan and company have to try to stop it. That didn't work because Roman just does Superman punch, and then he gets on the top rope, and everybody's like, yeah, Roman. And everybody thinks that Roman is going to lose this match because it's in Bronson Reed's hometown, his home country. I seriously doubt it. If he does, there's going to be a riot in Australia. I'm just saying. No more kangaroos, no more coral reef, no more anything that's affiliated with Australia. that Opera House will be torn down. Was that people will be pissed. I'm people. So, we got that. So, we'll see what happens with that. But we're not done with the Bloodline. We'll talk about them in a minute. Alright, so, great segment there, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. And we're off and running on Monday Night Raw. Alright, then we get a recap of, well, 3 of my Asian wives and Mommy Rhea Ripley going at it, and that's Asuka. Nobody is ready for Asuka! Except my dick. You know that. And my second hot, amazing hot Asian wife, that's Kairi! Kairi Sane. And my third amazing hot Asian wife, that's Io Sky. And what happened last week where they got beaten down, Io gets misted again, looks like a blue Smurfette, and Mommy has to save her, and then we get the tag team match at Crown Jewel between the Kabuki Warriors and Reiho, whatever you want to call it. So that should be a pretty interesting match. Alright, speaking of that, we go to the back, and speaking of Asuka, Asuka is pissed. I don't know what she said. She said something to that effect. She's pissed. The man said Adam Pearce make a match between Io and Kairi later on. Pearce like, I need a drink. You fucking alcoholic. You need a drink every fucking Monday night. It's not water, right? We know it's not water. Hey, Adam. If you want, I could put you on the payroll for, if you need a stiff drink, Get a little Hennessy, get a little Jack. You're fine, man. You're gonna have a great Monday night and not even give a fuck about the rest of the show, dude. I need a drink, and he gets a big bottle, like a big thing of Pepsi. And he's like, yeah! Fuck this show! You never know what he does. Anyway, he needs a stiff drink. And then we see Kairi all upset about having to do the match because she really doesn't want to face Io because that's her sister. Because they're all sisters. Asuka's the family. Asuka's the oldest of them. Io's the youngest, by the way. Kairi's in the middle, of course. And then Asuka's like, she's like, I don't want to do the match. I want to talk to her. We become a family. And Asuka's like, no. Smacked her right in the face. I'm like, whoa. Baby, calm down. That's my wife. It's my second wifey. What are you doing? I only slap her and that's on the ass. Come on now. Calm down. My Asian wives are fighting, slapping each other. I'm not even there. So they can slap my dick later. Anyway, so she slaps Kairi, says some stuff. I thought she said motherfucker for a second. She's like, motherfucker! I'm like, whoa, damn. And then basically slaps her in the face, and Kairi's like, I understand. Poor Kairi. I can't wait till she turns on Asuka and says, oh, fuck you! I go with my sister! I go with Io! Fuck you, Asuka! It's gonna happen, but not right now. Soon. Maybe at Crown Jewel, that's the turn, but I doubt that. If anything, it might happen at War Games! We got that. Oh, speaking of that, speaking of War Games, Roman will be in War Games, not a singles match, because everybody's like, oh, what's Roman going to do next after Crown Jewel? Well, he's going to be at Survivor Series in the War Games match. I don't know, he's going to probably be leading a team or on a team against probably Seth Rollins and company, who knows. They were thinking about doing Seth versus Roman for the title as early as January. That's not happening because both are going to be in the Rumble. So, no title match there. So the only way Roman and Seth can possibly meet one-on-one is at WrestleMania. And I said that since last year. Really, this year. I shouldn't say last year, but I said that since Seth won the title. And the whole thing with the Vision beating up Roman the night after WrestleMania. I was like, yup, Roman's going to come back. He's going to dismantle Braun Breaker. He's going to dismantle Bronson Reed. He's going to get the Usos back. The entire Bloodline's coming back. We're going back to 2020. Roman's going to win at WrestleMania. If he doesn't win the Royal Rumble, probably win the Elimination Chamber. Go on to face Seth one-on-one at WrestleMania 42, Night 2, and win back the, not the Undisputed, he will win the WWE Raw World title, and hold it for 5 years! Not 5, I would say he hold it for like a year. At least a year. Because who's gonna beat him, really? If he wins the title, who beats him now? Punk? No one wants to see that. And, yeah. So we got that. John Cena's final opponent is going to be Walter. Oh, boy. Walter is going to annihilate him. You thought that Brock Lesnar beating him in, like, 10 minutes, it should have been 3. Did I say 3? If you thought the beating that Brock Lesnar gave to John Cena, at the last pay-per-view was something, imagine what Walter's going to do on Saturday Night's Main Event in Washington, D.C. Should be in Boston, but, because it would be so nice for Cena to get his butt kicked in his hometown. But he's probably going to get his butt kicked by AJ Styles because everybody loves to beat up John Cena! I hope AJ wins on Saturday. I really hope he does. But knowing WWE, they're gonna make John Cena get the win in no build, basically, because we haven't seen John Cena since the last pay-per-view. Since WrestlePalooza, we haven't seen him. And after Crown Jewel, he's got 3. He's got 4 appearances left. He's got the Madison Square Garden show. He's got the Boston show. He's got Survivor Series, which he's going to be on the team with Roman, most likely, in War Games. And then his final match is December the 13th, I think, in Washington, D.C. against Walter. And then bye-bye! And then probably be going into the Hall of Fame after that. Because we already got Stephanie in. I bet you nothing the next person going into the Hall of Fame next year is John Cena. Mark it down. If it doesn't happen this year, I'll be shocked. If you have this whole retirement tour, and then his actual his final match, and then I guess his final actual appearance would be at WrestleMania 42 in the Hall of Fame. Who inducts him? I don't give a shit. It should be Kurt Angle, if you think about it, because Kurt Angle was Cena's first opponent back in 2001, I believe. 2001, 2002. So it logically fits. It should be Kurt Angle, but probably won't be. Imagine it's Brock. That would be hilarious. Moving on. Alright, so Asuka's not happy, but we get Io versus Kairi. And, I'm not happy about it, but it's not going to be like their matches in Japan. Woo, boy. Well, I'll just say that. Alright, let's move on. Alright, now we go to our next match. Non-title match. We got the man! Becky Lynch takes on Maxine Dupri. Alright, this was an actually pretty damn good match. And Maxine's coming out party. Wow, Maxine, who has been training with Natalya in the dungeon, she put on a show. Oh, the fans were really behind her. I was very impressed. Most impressive, Maxine Dupri. Most impressive. Let me get my Emperor Palpatine in. Most impressive. Most impressive, Skywalker. Very impressive. So we get that. She took Becky to the limit, but we get near the end, and, Becky's rolled with a handful of undies, gets in her fall, so Maxine grabs her own roll up, puts her feet on the rope, And somehow Becky kicked out there too. They go to the outside. Becky like tags her, like hit her with a prime bottle, and Jessica Carr's like, nope, won't allow it. No DQ there, okay. So then Becky sends her into the announcer's table. Did not hit Joe Tessitore. Damn. So then she starts ramming her head into the table a few times and gets on the table. It's like, yay, baby, I'm Becky Lynch, I'm great, yay. Meanwhile, Maxine Dupree gets in the ring. Jessica Carr is counting Becky out. She gets to 7, then she gets to 8. She goes, 8, 9, 10. I'm like, whoa, that was a fast count. So Maxine Dupree gets the win via count out. Everyone's like, oh my god, this is the biggest win of her career. And then Becky's like, what happened? She's yelling at Jessica Carr. Jessica Carr's like, you got counted out, bitch. Alright. So probably we're going to get an Intercontinental title match this, soon. I don't know when, but probably next week at this rate. But, hey, Maxine Dupree. Much better. Very impressive match from Maxine. I loved it, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Just because Maxine's, stuff. That's the only 2 good things of Raw. Roman and Maxine Dupree's coming out party. I loved it. The rest of Raw sucked. Anyway, speaking of things that don't suck, Roman's back. He runs into the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, who say they have his back at Crown Jewel, though they both say it individually rather than as a tag team. Roman says that Jay should be focused on the opportunities that are available, and Jaden says CM Punk is talking at the top of the hour, and then he's like, Roman's like, not you, not you. Well, Jay's not going to go out and yeet with everybody. So Jay goes to leave. Roman asks Jimmy, why don't you like Jay taking my advice? And Jimmy's like, doesn't say shit. Man, we're getting 2020 vibes. Remember how Roman was like the leader and he got in Jay's head, and then eventually Jimmy would come in? When Roman beat the fuck out of Jay in Hell in a Cell because Jimmy had to save him. And then Jimmy would, eventually fall in line. And that's how the Bloodline storyline started with Roman and the Usos. And then they brought up Solo Sikoa. And then eventually Sami Lame, the honorary Us who... That epic segment. Jay's just not feeling really, rather Usy. Usy? You haven't found your inner Usy? How are we feeling tonight? Are we feeling pretty Usy tonight? I'm feeling pretty damn Usy myself. How are you feeling? Okay. Rose is not feeling very Usy lately, so... Not in the bedroom department, but... Shut up. Anyway. Moving on. Alright. So we get that. Alright, so I gave that 3 out of 5 stars. Alright, there we see Bayley! Give me a hug! Ah! Don't give me a hug. Creepy hugger baby? Hugger Bayley? You creepy Bayley? Well, Bayley scares the lassie bitch from Ireland, Lyra Valkyria, asks to be in her corner in her match with Roxanne Perez. I was a little bit scared. I was like, okay. Zang! We get that. Alright, then we get to the match. Raquel Rodriguez out with Roxanne. She looked good. Anyway, back and forth match they went. We go to break, we come right back. Lyra fights back because she was getting beat up. We come back. Sometimes the good girls come back. She fights back, though she can't hook the leg on a fisherman's suplex due to her arm getting beat up during the match. Raquel offers a distraction, but then Bayley holds Lyra on top. And then that leaves Roxanne to crash down. Ouch. And then Lyra's big splash gets a near fall. Raquel kicks Bayley right in the face. leaving Roxy to hit a diving tornado DDT on the floor. Ow. Then she goes back in the ring, hits Pop Rocks. 1, 2, 3. Yes! Roxanne Perez gets the win over the lassie bitch from Ireland, Lyra Valkyria, in under 9.5 minutes. That's that. So I give the match 2.5 out of 5 stars. After the match, Bayley is mad. She's pissed. She grabs Lyra by the hair. She's like, "Get up! Let's go get him!" And Lyra's like, okay. Bayley is, like, going completely off her knocker. Well, knocker. Whatever. We move on. Alright, they're gonna video for AJ Bad Hair Styles. Taking on John Cena, which does have some history, as we all know, with, you know, the whole AJ beat up John Cena thing with the Good Brothers. I miss the Good Brothers. I wish they came back just for this moment. Gallows and Anderson just shockingly come back during the match, and they hit the magic kill on John Cena, and then AJ hits either the phenomenal forearm, he hits spiral tap, or he hits the Styles Clash on Cena. 1, 2, 3, pins him, and everybody's like, yes! 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 But is it gonna happen? Probably not. Alright, we got that. Alright, then we get an interview with AJ. Asks about the match with Cena, but then the Judgment Day come in. We get the Intercontinental Champion, Eddie. Your son's here. Oh, my son is here. Hi, yes, my son. I put to my noise, I say, Dominic Guerrero, they say. Pero. Anyway, so Dom comes in with Finn Balor and JD McDonagh, the tag team champions, along with Raquel and Roxanne Perez. Dom mocks the idea of AJ beating Cena, and then Finn Balor says, "I've heard rumors of AJ and Dragon Lee wanting to team up to challenge for our tag team belts." And then AJ's like, "Well, I'll find a third guy, and we're gonna have a 6-man tag team match later on." I wonder who that could be. Could it be a certain Smooth Operator? Smooth Operator. And we got that. So we move on with that. So I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, we see CM Punk making his way to the ring. Passes, Alexander Rusev. Rusev smash not a pussy. Yeah. And he's pissed. He's talking to Adam Pearce, who still needs a stiff drink. Make it a double there, Adam. Put some extra rocks on that, Pepsi and Henny. Or whatever you're gonna have. Whatever. Moving on. Alright, then AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, they recruit Pentagon Zero Miedo. Or Zero Pussy. Some people I know don't get that. I get more than you do. I digress. Alright. So Pentagon's there in his full gear. Full gear. So before he can answer if he wants to join, we cut to a fight between Bayley and Lyra and the women of the Judgment Day, Roxanne and Raquel. And then Adam Pearce comes in and once again goes completely berserk. Number 3. Bottoms up there, Adam. I'm not drunk, Sean. I'm fine. I live in Bed-Stuy. Okay. That's an old college joke. Old college joke. Just not because I'm weird, but, you know. It's an old college joke. And yes, I did go to college. 2 degrees. You got nothing. Moving on. Alright. Then we go to CM Punk in the ring. He sings a Texas song. Went down to Texas and bought myself a hat. Yep. So he thanks the fans for giving AJ Lee, his hot wife, that ass. A welcome return. When's she coming back? Don't know. So he says, we're coming up on Crown Jewel, and while he has a lot of things to deal with involving Seth freaking Rollins, he's going to let Cody finish up with Seth first, and then I guess he gets next. So we get that. Uh... So we get all that, and we move on. Where was I? Alright, so he's gonna let Cody finish up with Seth at Crown Jewel. Punk says, I've beaten Seth this year, and I'm going to get my title back, just like a son in the crowd says that he should. And then Eli Drake comes out and says, I haven't got the world title shot that I deserve, but I agree with some of what you said, but there were some omissions there. Punk says, I am the creator of the pipe bomb, but lately I've been known as a husband. That's not an insult, and everybody needs love. Okay. And his hair looked like he was going to court. Like, his hair was like all up and looked like a prosecutor. Like, the prosecution rests, sir. Alright. Well, I'm a good husband. I'm a pretty bad champion. Pretty much. Eli says, you were champ for 5 minutes, and then Seth freaking Rollins pinned you at SummerSlam. Then he did it again at Clash in Paris, which never happened to me. So Punk says, that's the same guy who has never been world champion. Eli admits that's true, says, I'll be the next man to pin Seth freaking Rollins, but then Jay Uso comes out. I'm like, oh no, we're going to get a triple threat match, and the winner becomes the #1 contender. We're doing this again? Come on now. So Jay gets right to the point, says, I'm the next challenger for the world title. And Eli isn't impressed. And Mox Jay's lost last week to, I forget who, which brings up Jimmy, and then Eli says, that's not what I was trying to say, and he turns to look at Punk, only to get super kicked by Jay. So Punk's like, that's cool with Jay. I guess that's cool. They look like it's cool with Jay. He's cool with Jay wanting the belt. So Punk wants Jay to stick with the tag team stuff, become a tag team champion again with Jimmy, because he likes Jay. He's like, I like you, but I don't like you being little Roman. And then he goes to leave, and Jay's like, hey, get back here. What'd you say, motherfucker? And he tries a super kick, but Jimmy cut him off. Punk then drops Jay, but walks right into a super kick from Jimmy. So, everybody wants to fight. I mean, Punk, Jay, Jimmy, and Eli. So maybe a fatal four-way for a title shot. I guess maybe at Crown Jewel. I don't know. We get that. So, that entire mess, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. We move on. Because we're a half hour away from Showdown, my friends. That too. Alright. Then we go to the back, we go to a video, not go to the back, we go to a video of Io Sky, my third amazingly hot Asian wife, talks about her history with the Kabuki Warriors, and how her and Kylie looked up to Asuka, then Asuka changed, went to the dark side. I think that's a scorpion on her face. She draws it and it just, channels her anger or some shit. Anyway, so Asuka changed and everything went sour. Asuka's helped her, but she isn't the only reason Io became champ. They are not family anymore, and she's ready to fight them at Crown Jewel. So a nice little hype package for the match, even though we don't see Mommy Rhea Ripley much in it, but I'll allow it. We'll go with it. And that's that. Alright, so I give that 3 out of 5 stars. Then we get to Io and Kairi with Asuka at ringside. Either way, I was not mad. I don't like to see my wifeys fighting. I just don't, but it is what it is. Alright, so it's a pretty good match for under 10 minutes. Io fights back, hits some palm strikes, Shote! Into a flapjack. Goes for the missile dropkick, and she hits it, sends Kairi into the corner. And then Kairi does her flippy, dance, the Io emoji. Then just a very nice German suplex for a near fall. Kairi slips out of a sit-out pedigree. Interesting. And then Kairi slams Io down. Tries the insane elbow, but Io got her boots up. Surprisingly, did not break Kairi's legs. That looked nasty a little bit, but thankfully nothing happened. Then the Bullet Train running knees in the corner connect. Then Io goes up top for the over the saw, but Asuka broke that up behind the referee's back. Kairi then grabs a fruit roll-up and Asuka's hand for a cheap win. I mean, come on. I'm not mad about it, but, I'd rather have Kairi beat her straight up and not use chicanery. Come on. Anyway, decent match, 3 out of 5 stars. And then afterwards, since Mommy Rhea Ripley's in Australia doing press for Crown Jewel, Mommy's not there. So, 2-on-1 beatdown. Io and Asuka hit the insane elbow, Scorpion Death Drop combo. The fans are chanting for Rhea, though we all know she's not there. And then basically, they just leave Io in a heap. And a 6th spot in that match where Kairi picked up Io, hit an Alabama slam on the edge of the apron. Ow! Oh! I had to give Io a neck massage last night. Oh, it was just... I needed one just thinking about that. Ah! My neck ain't good either, so, You have no neck! I have neck. Yoda didn't have a neck either in Star Wars. That's how he talked like Jabba almost. Solo mi boki. And Jabba. Yoda was like, he talked like Grover. Peter, there is no shame. They sound exactly alike. Not the same person doing the Yoda voice and the Grover voice, but it's just because I don't even know who did the Grover voice. It just sounds almost exactly like Yoda. Alright, moving on with that. That's that. Alright. Where was I? Alright, so Kairi gets the win over Io, thanks to Asuka. The match gave 3 out of 5 stars, and that's it. Alright, then we got another video on Cody and Seth, this time focusing on how they came together to take Roman down at WrestleMania 40, but have since split up, gotten into a variety of fights on their own. Now Seth doesn't think Cody will be able to lead the company, and we'll see. This is match number 4 in their rivalry, and Cody's up 3 games to none. So, see if Seth can actually win it. And if he doesn't win it, as we get to the segment, he's in the back, so focused, he's looking at that watch that Cody gave him, he's like, Mickey Mouse. No. Anyway, so focused, Becky's ranting about losing to Maxine Dupri. Adam Pearce to refereeing and pretty much everything else. Seth doesn't give 2 fucks, he's not really listening. So, Becky then leaves. Rollins says, Paul, me and you need to talk. So he goes, I have to win on Saturday. And Heyman says, that's gonna happen. And then Seth asks, well, what happens if I don't win? And then Heyman gets up and says, but you will beat Cody Rhodes. And then he finally gets to the point and explains what happens. He's like, if you lose the... He said, Rollins, you lose the locker room, everything you built with the vision, and show that the Netflix era has been built around a fraud while only being a secondary champion, so please do not lose. So Seth pulls him back, says, what do you mean by that? What do you mean, if I lose? What does it mean for you, Paul? Paul says, if you lose, you have to, I have to ask why I actually picked you over Roman in the first place. So, he goes to leave, and Ron's like, I gotta win this match. I hope Seth wins. I do not want to see Cody go 4-0 on Seth Rollins, and then who knows what's gonna happen with the Vision. They just, like, break up. Paul's like, well, I'm gonna go back with Roman. It could happen. If I said the Bloodline was coming back, we got pretty much Jay and Roman back. Jimmy is either turning heel or I don't know what's happening with Jimmy. Sammy lame, I don't know. Solo's on a different side. I think Jacob's gonna come eventually join up with Roman. Or it can't be a Coolio. Maybe it's gonna be Lance Anoa'i or Zila Fatu. Maybe somebody else, I don't know. The Hello Samoans just like multiply like gremlins. Fuck those gremlins, by the way. But I digress with that. Alright, that was a pretty damn good promo from Seth and the Wise Man, and we get that. Alright, speaking of epic promos, Jay, so rants to Roman, Jimmy comes in, and Jay wants to know why were you out there in that segment earlier, because now we have to face CM Punk and Eli Drake later in the main event. Are you protecting Punk? Jay's like, you need to decide what side you're on. You're on their side or you're on the Bloodline side. So Jay leaves. Jimmy tells Roman that I see everything that's going on. You have Jay thinking a certain way, and you need to accept that the Usos are nothing like him. And then Roman says, you should listen to this. When Jay won the world title, he became more like me and less like you. And if you want to help Jay, sometimes you should get out of his way. So, basically, if you want to be like Jay, get out of his way. That rhymes. So, we'll see what happens with all that. So, as the Bloodline turns once again, we move on with that. Alright, so I give that 3.25 out of 5 stars, and we move on. Alright, 6-man tag team match, player. We got Pentagon, Cero, Miedo, AJ Styles, and Dragon Lee taking on Dominic Guerrero, the Triple R Mega Champion, and the Intercontinental Champion, teaming up with the Raw Tag Team Champions, Finn Balor and JD McDumbfuck. It was a pretty good match for 14 minutes. Back and forth they went. We go to break, come back. Dragon Lee's in trouble. Gets the hot tag to Pentagon, who's a smooth operator. Does his thing. Hits a Spanish fly. Dropping JD McDonut. And then the bigger hot tag to AJ Styles comes in to clean house. Dom manages to send him throat first onto the top. Ow. But then Alexander Rusev cuts off the 619 attempt, and Dom basically runs for his life. And that is enough for AJ to come back and hits a Styles Clash on the legal man, JD McDumbfuck, and he pins him 1, 2, 3, so AJ, Pentagon, and Dragon Lee get the win over the Judgment Day in a match that was alright, 3 out of 5 stars, and that's it. And then after the match, AJ gets on the announce table and says, my match with John Cena doesn't need a story because it writes itself. We will leave it all in the ring, and it will kick ass! I think it will. Not be the match of the night, but I think it'll be a great match, but we'll see what happens with that. We move on. Alright, then we get the Crown Jewel rundown, and then we get a pre-match promo from Punky Brewster and Eli, agreeing that they don't want the match, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to team anyway, we're going to fight, blah, blah, blah. And then Eli tells them, don't get pinned. Probably won't get pinned, because it'll probably be you. Alright, so we get to the main event player of Monday Night Raw. 10-minute match, just under 10 minutes. Back and forth they went. Jay sends Eli into the ring steps. Ow. We go to break, we come back. And as always, the heels come back, even though Eli wasn't really a heel in this match, but whatever. Eli is still in trouble. Jimmy hits a running forearm in the corner. Then they hit the Demolition Decapitator. Oh, yeah. I missed that move. The Demolition! God, I'm not going to sing the song, because my voice is gone as it is. But you can watch that video I think it's on this channel or my Metal Guy channel. Acapella singing Demolition's theme. You know, it did get a copyright claim from WWE. But I didn't give a fuck, because I still have it up. Good stuff. Good shit. I gotta do more acapella, but I gotta, like, pick and choose my, you know, if I do it without the music or not. I mean, I don't care, because, you know, even if I get a copyright claim, I still can use the video, so. But sometimes, if it gets blocked in the United States, then I can't use it, because the video is, you can't see it, so. So, fuck you, WWE, and fuck copyright. That's all I gotta say about that. Alright, so they hit the Demolition Decapitator, drops Eli, then he running, ooh, MAGA attack by the Usos hit. Eli gets in a shot of his own, then gets the hot tag to Punky Brewster, who makes the save, it goes crazy. Jimmy then super kicks him right back down, and then Jay goes up top, hits a Superfly! Splash, it connects, Eli has to make the save on the pin attempt, and then all 4 men are beating each other up, everything breaks down. Jay spears Punk, but then Eli is right there again, and then Punk gets back up, hits the go to sleep on Jay, only for Eli to blind tag himself in and steal the pin. Oh, and Punk was not happy about that. So Eli and Punk get the win over the Usos. Little shocking victory there, and that's that. And then, to end the show, Punk just looks at Eli and is like, what the fuck, dude? And that ends the show. Nothing after that. No fighting, no nothing. They're just arguing a little bit. That's it. Alright, so that ends Monday Night Raw. And Raw was pretty, like I said, like this. So I gave Raw 6.25 out of 10 stars. And that's it. Let me know what you guys think of the show down below in the comment section. And like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. And that's that. Alright. We're about 15 minutes away from NXT TNA Showdown coming up on the CW11. Should be a great show. Got Survivor Series matches with Team TNA and Team NXT for the men and the women. Team Ricky Starks taking on Team Mike Santana on the men. And on the women's side, Team Kaylani Jordan against Team JC Jane with Jordan Grace as the special ref. That guy named Average Joe Hendry be the special ref for the men. We got Ethan Page taking on, who's he taking on? Not Tavion, I forgot who he's taking, I think he's taking on somebody. I think it's for the North American title. No, he beat Tavion, now who's not the different on. I forget. I know Ethan Page has a match tonight, but I forget who he's facing. But anyway, and we got the big one that's gonna start the show. Winner take all match for the tag team titles. The NXT tag team champions Dark State are taking on the TNA tag team champions, the Hardy Boys. Broken Matt Hardy, yes, wonderful, did it, and Jeff Hardy, dude. Alright, so we know who's going to win that match. Most likely the Hardys are going to become the NXT tag team champions for the very first time in their career. And the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon, will have a front row seat. So the stakes are going to be majorly high on Sunday night in that tables match for all the gold. Now, I don't know if it's going to be for both belts, or it's just going to be for the TNA title, tag titles. I mean, we'll have to see what happens on Impact this Thursday. I don't know if it's live. I know it's taped, but I mean, we'll have to see what happens with that. So, probably at Bound for Glory, either it's going to be for the TNA tag team titles or for all 4 belts. And we got that. Kaylani's taking on Indy Hartwell for the Knockouts title. Steve Macklin gets his rematch against Kazarian, Leon Slater, and Bouncy Javon Evans. Oh, that's going to be epic. Can't wait for that. Mike Santana against Trick Willie for the TNA World title. I think that's it. I think that's it. I don't think we have anything else. The Inspiration of the Iconics won the tag team belts. So we'll see what happens with them. And we got the hardcore war between Order 4 and the system. That's going to be hilariously bloody, who knows. We got that. And a whole lot more at Bound for Glory. I think might be, I didn't say it will, but might be pay-per-view of the weekend. Depending on how good Crown Jewel is, but we'll see what happens on Saturday morning. And that's that. Alright guys, I am out of here. Thanks for watching. Once again, 6.25 out of 10 stars for Raw. Leave me your thoughts down below in the comment section, and let's talk about it. And that's all I gotta say about that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your Tuesday night. Enjoy NXT TNA Showdown and Dynamite tonight at the same time. We'll see the Blue Jays sweep the Yankees out of the Bronx. We'll see what happens with the Detroit Tigers and the Mariners, which is happening right now. Let me just check something real quick. Okay, nothing. Let's see. Let me see the score of the game. I know it started. It's 2-0 Mariners, top of the third inning in Detroit. So, see if the Mariners can go up 2-1. Game 4 will be, I believe, tomorrow. Is that tomorrow? Yes, it'll be tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Brewers Cubs, Game 3 at 5 o'clock on TBS. That's just why no Dynamite tomorrow. And the Cubs are down 2-0 going into Chicago. So we'll see what happens with that. Well, if the Yankees win tonight, Game 4 will be tomorrow at 7 o'clock on FS1. And at 9 o'clock, we shift to LA where the Dodgers could sweep the Filthies. And that's that. Tomorrow, Yankee fans, Cam Shitler will be pitching. And tonight will be, I think, Carlos Rodon. So we'll see if the Yankees can avoid elimination like they did in Game 2 of the Wild Card Series. When I think they had Rodon and Shitler, and they won both games. So we'll see what happens in that construction site tonight. And we shall move on with that. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, peace. Go Jays!